I'm diving into another famous fitness saying today. Here it is. Nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to the Begin Within Health Show. You know, I love that you are here. Thanks for helping to keep this show in the top 5% of all podcasts on planet Earth. You can help others to find the show by rating and reviewing the show in your podcast player, or certainly following or subscribing if you're watching on YouTube. And also just drop me a comment, say hi, ask a question, leave a comment on the episode. I would love it so much. I love to hear from you and have those conversations. So please keep those comments coming. Now, let's dive into this one a little bit. I don't know if you've heard this one before. I would guess you probably have if you've been around the gym, if you've been around fitness and the diet culture. Nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. And I remember this one the first time that I heard it, I was in the gym, I was training a client. I mean, this is like gotta be 13, 14, 15 years ago. And he was doing great. You know, he was a middle-aged guy, probably about the age that I am now, and he was working out consistently. His workouts with me were great. He was getting good results, and it was after we did an assessment. You know, I did body measurements, body weight, body fat percentage, all that kind of stuff, and I was like, "Man, you're killing it. You know, great job." Commended him, and then he gave me that phrase back. Said, "Hey, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels." And that one kind of stuck with me. I remember when I first heard it, I was like, "Hey, yeah, no, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that makes sense." Um, but I feel like we need to talk about it now. I've come a long way and worked with a lot of different people, and I get it. I understand why the phrase has stuck around for so long. It sounds disciplined. It sounds focused. It sounds like it's a little motivating, right? Like slap that food out of your hand. It's not going to get you what you want, kind of thing. But you know, just being really honest with you, I think mindset is one of the biggest reasons people struggle with their health in the big picture, long term, you know, zoom out course of my life, course of my health and fitness. It's mindset. And I think personally this saying puts the focus in a lot of the wrong places. And so today I want to break that down. I want to tell you why I feel that way. But before we go further, I want to say something really important. If you have ever struggled with your relationship with food, if thoughts about eating, restriction, or body image feel overwhelming or obsessive, this conversation, this episode might bring some of that up for you. Maybe it already has. I'm here certainly to help you to think about health and fitness differently, but this podcast is not a substitute for real support. So if that's resonating for you, I strongly encourage you to talk with a qualified professional, a therapist, a registered dietitian, someone who specializes in helping people with those types of thoughts, and someone who can support you in a deeper, more personal way. It might be a good time to just shut this episode off and make that call. Do that Google search, reach out to someone who can help, because you deserve that kind of help. All right, let's dive into this saying, and make sure that you stick with me to the end, because I'm going to give you a 3-question test that you can use to see if diet culture thinking is affecting you. A 3-question test that you can use in real time to catch diet culture thinking in its tracks and make sure that you make good decisions without falling into the restriction trap. And of course, the things that we're going to talk about today, they're just one small snapshot, one small piece of a huge journey for you and for me. So please don't forget that health is nuanced, it is personal, and it's something that's built over time. I'm not trying to solve all of my problems or yours in this conversation, but rather to take one look at something that I do feel is important for us to talk about and to be aware of on our health and fitness journeys. So let's take a moment. We'll just kind of strip down the saying into what it's really teaching. I think the things that actually settle in with us after we hear it, when nothing tastes as good as skinny feels, right? Oh yeah, I get it. Yeah, that sounds right, right? Um, however, underneath that, I think there's two core ideas that I want to address. I want to talk about. First of all, the word skinny jumps out to me. Maybe it does to you. And so the saying is teaching that skinny is the goal, skinny is the destination, right? And then the second thing is that the way you get to the destination is by not eating or by eating as little as possible, right? That's the trade that this saying is asking you to make. Give up food now for a feeling later. And that is, according to the saying, the feeling later is being happy with being skinny, feeling good since you're skinny. Give up food now for that feeling good later. But here's the problem: it completely skips what we're actually aiming for with health. We're not trying to be skinny, we're trying to be healthy. Maybe healthy for some means that their bodies are going to change. They're going to be smaller. They're going to have less body fat. They're going to have more muscle. Maybe for them. But the goal is healthy, not skinny. Energy, strength, health span, right? Living long and being active, being strong, being a strong contributor to your family for decades. To me, that's the goal. That's the idea of being healthy, is to have strength and energy and stamina to be able to bring good things to the people around me. And I think for most of the people I've talked to, the people I work with, I know for sure, my clients, that's the goal for them as well. Feeling good in their body, being able to live life fully for as long as possible. And when skinny becomes the goal, we start chasing an appearance instead of building a life that feels good, a life that feels good, not just a skinny that feels good. Okay. We're not just chasing skinny. So that's the first thing I want to talk about. Kind of those two things that this phrase puts out there. Number one, skinny's the goal. And then number two, that not eating or eating as little as possible is the path that we want to take, because skinny's not the same as healthy, right? And I think that that's really important to slow down and address, because we have been taught, subtly or not, that skinny equals healthy, and that is just not true. You can be skinny and feel exhausted all the time, be underfueled, lack strength, struggle mentally with any number of things, including with food, feeling anxious about what you're eating constantly, right? I'm skinny, but oh man, all I think about is calories. All I think about is food. That's not health. It's not freedom. It's not a place most people want to be, if they're being honest about it. And so what we've done in so many cases is confused a look with a state of being, and those things are not the same, right? Does that make sense? If this resonates with you, or even if you totally disagree, I'd love to have a comment from you. Go ahead and put a comment as you're listening, because I want to know what you think. Again, I'm sharing my thoughts. I'm just my take on this common phrase that I would say once upon a time when I was much younger, I probably was like, yeah, yeah, no, that's right. That's right. I don't think I could have been any more wrong. And I don't feel like this is a phrase that came off the tip of my tongue very easily, that I repeated it, but I would say that it's possible that somewhere along the line I repeated it. And right now I am asking for forgiveness if you had ever heard me say it, because over the years I have learned so much more about this process. And I think it's important for us all to just slow down and reflect for a moment. And I am grateful that this phrase gives us an opportunity to do it. So, skinny's not healthy. We talked about that. Not necessarily, right? Those two don't always go hand in hand. And then the other thing that I mentioned, that second piece, that restrictions the path forward. You got to eat less in order to get what you want. I feel like that piece of this is very problematic as well, that the goal is restriction, right? If I restricted enough food, then I'll get the results that I want. Eat less, avoid more, say no to things constantly. Nope, nope. I don't want that. I don't want to taste that. I don't want to eat that because I want to feel something better down the line. Um, but when you actually look at how sustainable health is built, most experts don't start by taking things away. Nutritionists, dietitians, they don't start with saying, you got to eat less. You got to stop eating this and that. That's not healthy. That's not healthy. Take it out. But instead of starting with, well, what are you going to cut out? What are you going to restrict? They start with this. What can we add in? Because the things that are in place in life, foods that we enjoy regularly, that we enjoy the flavor of, they taste good to us. They are there for a reason. They're part of our life for a reason. They're part of our habits for a reason. They're providing something to us. So rather than take those away, is it possible that we can get healthier by adding things in? Things like protein, fiber, whole foods, more water. Absolutely. Better quality means healthier. And we can improve quality before we do anything about restricting quantity, if we ever need to at all, as we move forward in a healthier direction. Because when you start improving the quality of what you're eating, a lot of the quantity issues start to take care of themselves naturally. The truth is this: restriction might get some people what they want short term, right? Wow, look at all the weight that you lost. That's so cool. Great. But it's one of the least reliable paths to long term health, which we started the episode talking about. Restriction sets you up for a cycle. Restrict, crave, then what? Eventually give in to the craving, overeat, feel guilty, repeat. Restrict, crave, overeat, feel guilty, right? It's not discipline, that's a trap. It's a downward spiral. It's not what we want. It's not healthy. It doesn't move us in a healthier direction generally, right? That's what restriction can set us up for. So, what do? Focus on adding things in before we start taking them away. And this is something that I have found a long time ago works amazingly. It works great as I'm working with people who have different health goals. Let's start improving quality. Let's start adding in healthy things. We don't have to talk about what to take away. There's so many ways we can improve health by impacting quality rather than quantity. And that is a much more comfortable place to approach this from for most people. And here's kind of my last issue with the saying, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. Food should taste good. Food is allowed to taste good. Enjoying food is not the problem. You are not bad because you're enjoying what you're eating. And someone who is choking down things that they don't like the taste of because someone else told them it was healthy isn't automatically good. They're not headed in the right direction, right? They might still be miserable. Uh, Diet culture loves to push that idea that if it tastes good, it must be bad. But real health, and not just speaking only about calories in, calories out. That's I don't even like to talk about that from a much bigger perspective. Real health lives in a different place. You can eat food that tastes good and supports your body, gives you energy, helps you feel good. That's the goal. To me, that's healthy. It's not cheating. The food tastes good. I must be doing something wrong, right? It's not cheating. That's the goal. To enjoy the flavor, to enjoy the food, and also be fueling health, moving in a healthier direction. So, what should we be aiming for instead, right? If skinny isn't the destination, what is? How about this? Feeling energized, feeling strong, feeling in control of your choices, being consistent, having a healthy relationship with food. Those things are all, to me, they're part of good health. That's the destination. And the path to that is not restriction, it's alignment, it's making choices that support your body most of the time in a way that you can actually sustain, and knowing that when you do have the foods that you enjoy the most, even if you ate them all the time, they might make you less healthy. You eat them once in a while and you feel good about it. You enjoy it. And then you're able to turn to those other healthy foods that taste good, that support you in your long-term goals. So before we wrap up, let me just get real for a second. Let me boil this down. Just say this as plainly as I can. If your strategy requires you to constantly fight yourself, it's not a good strategy. Okay? If you feel like you can't enjoy food, that's a problem. That's not discipline. And if you've been stuck in that cycle, just know that you are not broken. You are not lacking willpower. It may just be that you're trying to work with a system that doesn't work for you long term. All right. Earlier, I told you that I was going to give you a 3-question test, a 3-question filter that you can use to catch diet culture thinking in real time. I'm going to give that to you in just a moment. Before I do, if you are tired of the restriction, the restart and restrict and restart cycle, I'll call it that. If you want a more sustainable approach to your health, I want you to learn about my 7-day program. Go to beginwithin.fit/7-day. Just get the details there. If you decide to kick it off, you don't have to use a credit card or anything. Just click the button and get started and enjoy 7 days of moving in a healthier direction. And if you keep working with us after that, awesome. If you decide 7 days is all you need and you are on your way and you're happy about it, we're okay with that too. We want to help. We want to support you. So go to beginwithin.fit/7 day and learn more. All right, here's the 3-question filter. The next time you're making a food decision or catch yourself thinking in that restrictive way, oh, I shouldn't eat this. Should I eat this? Right? Calories. Is this too many calories? Here's a 3-question filter. I want you to just slow down, ask yourself, see if you can catch diet culture thinking in its tracks. And if you choose differently, you decide you don't want it to run the show for you, great, right? Because I think it's going to lead you in a much more long-term, sustainable direction. Here are the 3 questions. Is this about being healthy or just about being smaller? That's the first question. Is this about being healthy or just about being smaller? That question alone can catch a lot. Number 2, am I trying to support my body or control it? Am I trying to support my body or control it? Control usually leads to backlash. It leads to the cycle that we talked about earlier. But supporting your body leads to sustainability. And then here's the 3rd question. Last one. Could I do this consistently for the next 6 months? Whatever decision you want to make, could I do this consistently for the next 6 months? If the answer is no, it's probably that restrictive diet culture that is talking to us and not actually a real long-term health solution. So there's 3 questions, yes or no answers. Just check them off, right? Is this about being healthy or just being smaller? Am I trying to support my body or control it? Could I do this consistently? Those 3 questions. If you start running decisions, health, fitness, food decisions through those 3 questions, you might be able to begin to sort out what actually is helping you from what just sounds believable in the moment. And you might enjoy this journey a lot more. So just in closing, take care of your body. Enjoy your food. You don't need to restrict yourself to get a healthier way of life. And remember, this is personal. This is your journey. Notice what works for you. Adapt as needed. I'm going to talk with you again soon. Keep taking good care of yourself.